All right, I'm going to call us to order at 7 p.m. I don't see anyone that had any topics they want to address the board on, so we'll go forward. My one and my only item on our agenda this evening, from my part anyway, is election chargebacks. I have a draft resolution. These didn't get stapled, they just got ran off. I don't think Deborah put this in your packets, so I wasn't quite aware of that. This says draft all over it because it is a draft. Mike, Bill, do you have a draft resolution for chargebacks to municipalities on elections? Okay, here's one for each of you. It would be the very first or the very last one, I don't know.
First one.
There's a growing concern among supervisors in Clinton County with the cost of elections. Joe Girardi from the town of Saranac is very concerned that we address the issue as an organization and that it be brought to the attention of the county legislature. I told Jill I would join in that effort. At the January meeting of the Clinton County Association of Supervisors, the resolution was passed that will be submitted to the county legislature addressing the cost of elections that are put back on the municipalities as something that is an unfunded mandate. I'm in the process of working with the other towns, suggesting if they are so inclined that their municipality also pass a local resolution to support the act. I believe Joe has had some informal conversation with Sam Dyer, not Sam Trombley. Made a little mistake earlier this month. And we would like to sit down and talk with the legislature as a whole, talk with the chair, talk with their finance committee. There was one conversation about, well, what's the difference? Because one pocket's the same as the other. I think there's a huge difference. I haven't researched it enormously, and I would entertain anybody's thoughts on that. The cost for elections has gone up enormously. And I'm gathering information. I will have that for you. I don't have it in any great detail this evening. And it's significant to all of us. As a percentage of our budget, our portion of the elections, I believe, I haven't done the math yet, is much more measurable than the cost of elections would be as compared to the county's budget. If nothing else, in my mind, a little hot spot with me is sales tax. I think we've talked many times. I don't have exact numbers. They're not necessary at this point, but I think we collectively agree we generate more than our share of sales tax for the county as the economic hub. The distribution of sales tax is an option of the county government. They don't have to turn any back to their municipalities. County governments are unique, I've learned this over time. We get a very small percentage. Our cost for elections could easily be taken out of some of that sales tax money that we generate and never see. The where it comes from, the how it gets budgeted, I don't know. I've generated a draft resolution that I would like to bring to the table at the next session. So I want you to have some time to look it over. I've made a real point to note the cost, as other municipalities are, that it is truly an unfunded mandate that we've been paying. We have no involvement with the process. It's a county department, Board of Elections, that manages the elections, gathers the results, does the reporting, etc. It's county employees that are doing it. It's the county payroll. Why are we subsidizing it? I also made a real point to acknowledge that the Clinton County Board of Elections, the personnel are, which they are, and they have been, I think, for the most part to all of us, highly professional, well-educated, very supportive of candidates and of local government when we seek information. It's not about that at all. It's just about why are we paying for one of their department's expenses that is ever growing. Anybody have any thoughts, comments?
Well, having these federal elections, or federal primaries, separate from the others is making it even more costly because you have to open all of them for that. And having those in, having that early in the year means that you have to do positioning and all that stuff in March and February, March, April.
We
I think
budgeted
that's
over.
another expense that we're being taken on. Because the state wants to have two instead of one, or the federal government does.
It's kind of become a habit, a past practice, more than anyone ever sitting down and having a rational conversation about how should it be addressed. We budgeted for 2014 over $31,000. It's a chunk of change for us, as it is for Dannemora and Altona and Moores and Black Brook and all the other towns. So we think it needs to be discussed. And it would certainly be helpful to have each municipality pass a similar resolution to show their support.
We have neighboring counties that do not pass these expenses along to towns. The county pays it all in Essex County.
In Essex County,
That's of course because they have a
Yeah.
board of supervisors, that's a board of supervisors, as opposed to a board of legislators.
and I think there's something telling that that group that truly understands what the municipalities in the county are dealing with and truly understands county government and county budgets still determine the best way to meet the needs is to have the county pay the tab. I mean, it just seems so logical. The office is there. It's their employees. They manage it, they own it, they run it.
I'd be the first one to say, and they're not sitting down there, you know, trying to figure out how to make elections more expensive. They're dealing with what's being pushed down the pipeline at them, both by the state of New York and by the federal government. It's a problem, but their decision to push that problem down onto the town is an incorrect decision. I mean, this past fall, if you go in and you look at the ballots, there were more county races that were on those ballots than there were any other races. Where's the county paying for their share of these elections?
That's a really good point, Marty, and no one has brought that up. And they weren't even local elections, it was county elections. What percentage of county, and there's a difference. I mean, we really gotta watch out, it's all the same pot, it isn't.
Yeah, there were some local elections, but numerically, at probably the worst, they were even, okay? And then you had, ballot issues that the state produced,
Yep.
okay? They don't pick up any cost of the elections. They've come up with crazy rules, like you have to have 3 ballots for every single voter, and, I don't know what the cost of that paper is, but I believe it's something like 65 cents a ballot. 35 cents a ballot.
Still a lot.
Still, a lot of money. And you gotta have 3 ballots for every single voter. Now, why somebody drugged that one up, I have a hard time understanding the
And
justification.
since we went to electronic machines, the cost just skyrocketed. They really did.
Yeah.
And now, I guess I'm going by what I'm hearing, not hearing about it, which no one's opposed to moving forward with this, so we will. At the point that we set a date to meet with the legislature, especially if it's the entire body, I'll make sure everybody's aware of that, so we can certainly encourage your
Doesn't hurt
presence.
to bring it up with state officials either.
No, not at all, because as Marty said, it's, the county's not the one that created the problem. It's been pushed down to them from feds to state to the county, and now to us. Okay. Fairly large agenda relative to items of business that need to be addressed this evening. So Rick, we'll go right at them. I didn't make a note, I talked to you earlier, Rick. We had talked last time about the online sporting licenses, and you and I get to talk, and sometimes I forget everybody else doesn't do that. What's the update?
It's back in the works, onto it. I refilled out the forms again today for the second time, along with sent them a voided copy of the check, which, onto it. So I sent it out, through the mail today.
So it's been about 5 months. It seems like plenty of time to be able to get this done.
No, we were up and running until this, January onto it. Because of the new system that's in there, it's changed companies onto it, and it's ridiculous that you have to go through this thing 3 or 4 times to send them the application. Nothing's changed, the checking account hasn't changed, the people haven't changed, the equipment hasn't changed, nothing's changed. All it is a company that initiates the software, which is stupid.
TJ installed the software.
And it still doesn't work, right, because
Thursday or
of
something.
the problems that they got, and the big bombshell that they're gonna let everybody know in a couple days, that they're changing their whole price structure onto it. So nobody, when you walk in, before you used to say, I want a super sportsman, I want a this or that, and all, everything is à la carte now. What used to cost you $98 is gonna be $124. So, wait until John Q. Public
Well,
hears all
I
the
don't believe that's true, because I went and looked at the prices, and it seemed like the prices were less
Yeah,
when
some
you
of the
added
stuff
those
is
on
less.
versus the amount that they paid before.
Right, no.
If you take into account every license from shotgun straight through to bow to,
Right, that's what I'm saying. You used to be able to buy a super sportsman with included everything, which was $98. Now it's gonna be $124.
I disagree with you on, not the figures I saw anyway.
Okay, well, whatever, that's what I was given. Because they changed, they went from $29 to $25 on some stuff, depending on what it is and what you add to it.
So you've totaled the,
I thought I went
Individual
through
ones.
and it seemed like it was less money for somebody buying everything.
because being more or being less is huge.
Yeah, well, I think that it needs to be checked.
Well, we don't set the prices, the state does. So whatever the prices are there, that's what it is. We've got nothing to do with that, we just collect the
Well,
fee.
you wanna
and-
know, Rick, so you'll know whether to smile or duck.
I don't know, they're supposed to be sending all new, handouts and all of that with the new prices in it. They're going to effect February 1st, so I don't really know.
I thought you said they already announced what the individual prices were going to be.
That was to us onto it, they still haven't figured out all of this other stuff.
So you got those, so you can take the ones that were in the sportsman, just add them up and see is it more or less.
Yeah, they're all different prices. That's what I said, it used to be there's no buying a super sportsman license anymore.
But the
You
super
win.
sportsman had a certain number of things on it, didn't necessarily have everything. And so when you add them up, it still could be less, depending on which ones they choose. I think it needs to be checked.
Well,
You
the
need to
super
put down the
sport, yeah,
cost
the super
of each
sportsman.
one from what it was before and what it is now, and then give us the total of the ones and what it includes. I think that'll make a true comparison, but I don't believe it's gone up as much as we thought, unless these rates in February that you're talking about, unless that's what's caused, they've changed it.
Well, they did.
Which I
It
didn't-
went into effect. I just
I
got it
didn't
the
look at
other
those.
day. But they sent it to me.
We'll have to look at what the new rates are and see how it compares. And we're still working on the, trying to find a way to enable, the key has always been the projects, the corporates that come in and they want to pay, or anybody that wants to pay for their permit or whatever else through the clerk's office. We did have a phone conference with a government affairs person from TD Bank, was it right?
Yep.
He didn't quite seem to know, but he had a lot of caution, and BAS does it, others do it, so it's kind of trying to find out, why can't we, I guess. So we're still working on that. All right, now, 01436, approving the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of January 13, 2014 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renadin, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
This includes
Yep.
the three that weren't on our agenda the last time, yeah, three for the two licenses for the movie theaters and the appointment to zoning board of appeals.
Okay,
Okay,
any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
yes,
Martin Manick.
Yes.
Paul LeMoy.
Yes.
Craig Brundage.
Yes.
Ernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 37 abstract 1A.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claim number 1B dash 14, number 1 through 76 for $782,921.57, and number 1B dash 14, 2921 through 2958 for $89,901.84, and abstract 1B-14, 1 through 44 prepaid in the amount of $639,659.60, and be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor hereby authorized to pay said act.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Lemoy, second.
Second.
Mr. Renadin, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Paul LeMoy.
Yes.
Craig Brundage.
Yes.
Ernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 38, Building Maintenance Safety Committee monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Art Bro, Building Maintenance Supervisor for the month of December 2013.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renadin, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
I see there's a couple more incidents that were added since the last one we got for December.
Yeah, I noticed one was missing, so we redid it.
The last one I didn't get,
Number 6?
yeah, was a number, were they damaged much?
No, that was one of those days where if you stood on the ice and the wind was blowing, you were going for a ride. I was pulling into the parking lot, not here, I can't think of this, where the Dunkin' Donuts, right off the exit 36.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little, Bucks, thank you. There's an incline, and it just started to go. He even dropped the blade to try to stop. It's a fender bender thing, one car, but that car hit a car next to it. One was an Audi, and the next one was a Porsche.
Was it Porsche?
A Porsche from Montreal, I think. So it gets a little complicated. I don't have any estimates. We haven't gotten any to the best of my knowledge. So we do have a report on that, and that is works in progress.
On these, I assume, I mean, they say that, like the door's been repaired for number 5 and stuff, but I assume that the trackless machine has also been repaired so that it isn't gonna
So it stops.
have that problem again.
Yeah.
I think that's a good assumption. Anything else? We actually have probably been very fortunate. I spoke with Jim after one of those really icy days, and the man's driven a lot of years, he has a lot of expertise, and it was scary to be out there. You've ridden in them, Paul, loaded up under those conditions. We are just fortunate that there weren't any other issues. Guys are out at Cumberland Head today, I mentioned before, a branch coming down, I mean, any number of Mother Nature things, and we've got crews that are out there in the middle of it. We're fortunate. I'd like to think they've been very conscientious, but we haven't had any injuries. Anything else on the reports?
I see that they're continuing to work on the street light,
Yes.
for they're marking them, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously with the weather, it's tough to do that and be safe, but where they can, they are. Some of the transitions have gone really well. Art had a written list of park needs, and they've been aggressively working on them. So. Something probably worth paying really close attention, so we see the kinds of things that are being done and how that compares to the past. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Renner.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 39, Codes and Zoning Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file report from Steve Eisenhower, Code Enforcement Officer for the month of December 2013.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Manik, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoyne, any discussion? I have copies of his year end. You know, again, there's activity. Is there enough? How does it compare? We only have anecdotal notes. They're busy. We have another, and it's generic to this resolution, but it'll be a topic for another time. Some conversations going on about codes and inspection of county facilities. The state has really rolled back a great deal. In the past, if it were a project on the county property, if it were a rental, industrial rental, the state would do the codes inspections. And that's worked pretty well, generally, not in every circumstance. With the fairgrounds, there's been a bit of a mix. With Paramount project, which is the explosives project, we seem to be at the fork in the road. State really is taking a position of the state isn't doing it. We've had some meetings with the department, with CJ. We've done some formal commentary at public hearings. We had a meeting in this room with the state, the attorneys, the Department of Labor, the project, on and on. We will soon be, I think soon be taking a position on that as well. If we are going to be inheriting a new set of projects that we're going to take codes responsibility for, we have to adjust our fee structure. For example, when we were talking about Laurentian, it isn't dead yet, by the way, the ballpark number for the codes on that was over $50,000. It's an enormous number, because it's an enormous project that takes a lot of expertise. We don't just pick those things up. There are some projects that it's just a matter of one more thing to do, one more commitment, one more report, one more site visit, and others that there's expertise, we may have to bring consultants on board. We have got to look at that. This is 2014, Jim and I have had some discussions, I'll be rolling some more out 2014 is a year of fiscal transition in a lot of ways. We've got some things we've been working on, we'll be rolling. We need to know the cost of things, we need to know how we're paying for them, they need to be billed appropriately. And if we're going to be taking some new duties on, they've got to be billed appropriately. The county does not have an employee who is a codes enforcement officer. They could. The county owns a lot of property, the county has a lot of projects, they rent a lot of properties. If that's going to be a project that we take on, I mean, we have to really look at the magnitude. We've done some looking. It may be significant. So there'll be a change there. I guess what I want is not to have the thought that we won't do it, we can't do it. The point is, we can't give it away. That's all. It isn't that we don't want to pay, it's somebody's got to pay. It isn't, town of Plattsburgh taxpayers. It's a little like the elections, and you really, I hadn't thought of it, Marty, when you said, yeah, every year, not every year, but there are county elections.
Sure.
What percentage of the total cost was paid by county government? Nothing. So we just need to look at those things, and it isn't just looking for new ways to do old things, looking to do it the correct way. That's going to become an issue early this year.
The
Just
county,
be ready.
the county could establish a codes official and pay the salary and pick up the educational expenses, etc., and do that work. And there's a cost for that. For them to think that they can simply shove that down onto the municipality and not have any expense is nuts.
And when I focus on the Paramount project, seems to be the straw right now. The county would like to have the state continue to do it. That's not the problem. The problem is the state's attorneys have said no. Whitney Russell is their codes officer for Clinton, Essex, Franklin, maybe St. Lawrence, who knows? It gets crazy. I mean, he's spread enormously thin. So it's another trickle down, and again, we seem to be at the end of the stick. But the rules may change on that too. And it needs to be just to make sure we can do the job and be fair, not at our expense. And if that fee is too much, there's always another option. They can, have a codes enforcement officer at the county.
Enter into a contract and
Independent contract, absolutely.
and provide it. Or go out and hire someone to be your codes officer.
So that will be surfacing early in 2014.
Has any further information come or any progress in decisions on using the credit cards, code zoning? I know Steve sent us a letter
Yeah.
before.
Ricky and I are going to meet as soon as tomorrow again to continue to look at that. We're looking at a couple of options. We did have a phone conference with the bank he does his deposits with. The gentleman, he's government affairs, I think, isn't he? He really was more discouraging about that process than encouraging. He did seem to indicate, though, that there's a fee. It's not as simple as there's a $5 fee. So if your permit's $150, you pay $155 and you can charge it. It apparently gets a little more complex with the whole process of banking and online. What third party do you go through that manages the charges? BAS, and you know more about it than I do, they seem to have a sliding scale. If the bill is X amount, it's this. If it's more, it's that, and so on. But with like the tax receiver, the amount of money you're dealing with is radically different. And he's just concerned you're going to get an occasional charge once in a while for $100 or so, and what do you want to do it for?
Yep.
But it's a service. We need to forget about our internal problems. Others do it. Why can't we? We're no less than anybody else. And though it may be 5 charges a year for those 5 people, it was obviously important.
Bernie, are any of our fees, can you pay by credit card?
The tax receiver's office you can,
That's
yes.
it.
Right now, that's it.
Oh. And we talked about the justice and that
Yeah.
didn't go anywhere.
But there's two different, like, the justice court is paid through the state. The state takes the credit card and pays the town back.
It goes into their banks directly.
Right, it goes into the bank, same thing as Jackie. Jackie doesn't physically take a credit card. It goes through an online system.
Well, if I want to pay my taxes with a credit card, can I do that?
Yes. You can pay him here, you can pay him at the county, but the county, I don't know, I haven't got a straight answer from them how they charge $17 if you want to make an installment payment on it. It's a flat fee of $17. I haven't figured that out onto it, they haven't said anything back to me.
But wouldn't you just go to county treasurer and give your credit card?
No, it's done online. The county doesn't physically, like the town doesn't physically take your credit card.
It's all
You have to
If
do
you go
it
to
online.
Jackie, she'll take your card, she goes to the computer, and she
Okay,
puts it in.
but you
Just like you
give,
could.
but you give her the card,
Correct.
just like you do at a restaurant.
No, because at the
that's
restaurant, they
swipe.
swipe it to their account.
Oh, she doesn't have.
She goes online and does it through the county for you.
Well, that's just like Bernie and I were told by this, I didn't realize it as being a business person, that all of these cards are rated at a different thing.
Yeah.
And if you get points back, if you get travel mileage and all of this stuff, it's a higher cost of taking that card in.
Well, they charge you more if you get points?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
screw it.
If you use American Express, it's a lot more than
Yeah,
if you use
American Express is like
Discover
40%.
Card's the cheaper one, I think, isn't
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there's, it goes from 1.25% to 4.75%
Wow.
onto it. And then depending on the card that you use, and if the card is a mileage or rewards card or benefits, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, we kinda
I
just-
didn't realize that,
We kind of just said to the banker guy, set it up.
yeah.
I don't care about any of that, set it up, it's an option. You can pay cash or you can use your card and
And
pay a fee.
then he also said if it's done online, it's a one charge thing. If you handle the card and you have to swipe it in the machine, it's another charge. Plus you pay a 35-cent fee to take that card if you use it to swipe it on the machine.
He's calling tomorrow, or we're
Yeah,
calling him
I've
or
got to call him
something.
back. He's called today and then I said I'd get
Yeah,
together
get-
with you to
we'll
call.
So we
do it on
really
the
need to go
speaker.
back
And
to a
then you
cash
become a
basis,
victim of-
because they're stealing our identity and everything through these companies. Anyway, so we,
And then you become a victim of identity
I
theft.
don't know exactly, I asked Steve about it, he's conscious, it's a new.
Well, everything I'm reading.
Don't pay at Target.
Everything I'm reading says credit cards
It's
are
not a
gone.
flash,
That's it.
it's not a flash or readable,
That
Cash.
In 2 years, credit cards are gone.
but it's not.
So are brick and mortars.
It's a message. Yeah.
Don't say that.
Credit card wise, just FYI, I got that email nobody wants to hear that
Yeah.
my Marriott Visa was part of the Target sweep. And I don't know where, because it was around the Christmas time, we were doing some shopping in Kentucky and, you know, traveling and things. And we were down Albany, but it's irrelevant. I think as we often hear, you're better to have a card and have a problem than cash even. It's cost me nothing. They have absolutely no concerns. They're just changing
Here,
the
send you a
number.
card, I think.
I've seen nothing show up. They're sending me a new card.
Yeah, okay.
I monitor it, I have Experian and all those, I mean, it just seems seamless, other than they said, tag, you're one of the ones, so we're gonna be sending you a new card, but don't worry about it.
it will be, except if they have all the other information as well, the social security.
Identity
number.
theft is the big one. Once you get into the identity theft, you might as well go to Alaska. Anything else about
Well, we
the
find it.
codes and zoning monthly report?
Surprisingly.
Roll call on 39.
Thomas Wood,
Yes,
Mark Vanek,
Yes.
Paul Moore,
Yes.
Art Benedict.
Yes.
Too bad.
and just remember,
Yes,
the last was a
carries.
form mistake here.
Well, they just had another one tonight, too, that was on the news that got breached. Forgot who it was.
Through national change,
Yeah, there was another one.
Yeah, it was a big thing too.
somebody's hacking quite successfully. Number 40, codes and zoning department year-end report. Now, I've got extras of that.
Did we get
Did you
that?
get that one?
No.
Okay, that's why I've got these.
I didn't get it.
Do you want one for Tom?
Oh, it was Michael's.
You want?
Michael's.
Yeah, okay.
That one's a problem.
Well, that Michael's
That's what it
includes.
was.
Michael's just got
Yeah,
back
but
to,
Michael's includes, what is it, what's the new one there? Not Home Depot,
Home
Goods.
Home
Goods?
Goods,
TJ Maxx.
Michael's and something, there's three of them
Maxx.
together that are all owned by the same
well,
people.
Michael's just got
Yeah.
hacked, yeah.
Home,
Home Goods is TJ
Home
Maxx.
Goods, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls.
And
Marshalls, that's it.
Marshall's,
Marshalls.
yeah. But I know there was three of them because they said it.
Number 40, Codes and Zoning Department year-end report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Stephen Imhoff, Code Enforcement Officer for the year of 2003.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second?
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? I'm going to ask, I'll share it for the department to give me a spreadsheet. I'd like to see what the last 5 years yearly reports are and how they compare. I mean, this one in isolation doesn't tell me anything. So I'll just share it anyway. Anyone have any other discussion? Roll call?
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Manick?
Yes.
Paul Moy?
Yes.
Brad Brennan?
Yes.
Ernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution number 41, Historian's Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file the historian's monthly report for the month of December 2000.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renner, second. Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
There's three, there's November and December 2012, and then there's December 2013.
I think that 12 is a misprint.
I do too.
I think it should be 13 times.
Yeah, because they're talking about the regional conference being here in 2014, right?
Right.
I think we can make that assumption. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Manick?
Yes.
Paul Moy?
Yes.
Brad Brennan?
Yes.
Ernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 42, Parks and Recreation Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Melody Defiant, Recreation and Youth Director for the month of December 2013.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion?
You know,
Mel mentions the snowball, that is this weekend, by the way, and the town of Plattsburgh will be acknowledged and be getting an award for the development of the obstacle course, I guess is what
Is
it
it
is.
the noodle maze?
It's a maze. It's also going to be in the former Cedar Knoll building. Paul Grosso, the Development Corporation, has offered that up, so we get them out of the element, and if it rains or whatever it does, they'll be able to function. This weekend also, if you weren't aware, is the Winterfest at Post 1619. Friday is the opening ceremonies, fireworks, and all that.
What happened to Cedar Knoll?
He sold.
Oh, did he pay us what he owes us?
He's been
Still
paying
paying.
on a regular monthly basis.
Didn't he have to pay that off before it sold?
There was no link to the property.
Went to his home, house.
We have a personal guarantee. When the original CDBG grant was set up, it didn't link to any equity.
And we didn't do that this,
This administration wasn't party to putting that paperwork together.
But we've had some meetings, and he's been meeting his obligation, and that's a good thing.
Did he sell it to Hilly Lumber like we thought?
No, the Development Corporation bought it. They're gonna use it for a spec site. I don't think it'll be spec for long. They have a lot of queries, but Development Corporation is growing. Their available properties. They've had a lot of demand. All right, any other discussion on that?
Have to move it.
Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Manick?
Yes.
Paul Moy?
Yes.
Brad Brennan?
Yes.
Ernie Bass.
Resolution carries. Resolution 43, Planning Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Phil Von Bargen, Planning and Engineering Department Head for the month of January 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Lemoy, second.
Second.
Mr. Renner, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne.
Yes.
Brad Rendick.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 44, supervisor's monthly financial report.
Resolved to receive and place on file the supervisor's financial report for the month of December 2015.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renner, second. Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne.
Yes.
Brad Rendick.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 45, town clerk's monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Rick Collins, town clerk, for the month of December 2013.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Any questions for Rick? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne.
Yes.
Brad Rendick.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 46, town clerk's year-end report. And I'll point out, we found a way to get annual report up there and not have to scratch through it.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Rick Collins, town clerk, for the year of 2013.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion? Rick, do you know how this compares to previous years? As far as, local revenue is my biggest concern.
I didn't run the report.
Could you do the same thing? Give us, look back
You wanna go through?
4 more years and give us a 5-year run to see if there's any direction or any change or anything?
We should
Thank
see some increases.
I think because of the dog thing we should,
Certainly.
but I don't know. I think we're on top of it better than ever before. A roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne,
Yes.
Brad Rendick.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 47, Water Wastewater Department's monthly report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Scott Stoddard, the Water and Wastewater Department Director for December 2013.
So moved.
Mr. Rendick, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoyne, any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne.
Yes.
Brad Rendick.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Request to attend annual code enforcement educational conference.
Whereas it is in the best interest of the town, the code enforcement officer remain current and informed concerning changes and regulations, and their participation in the annual code conference will enable the code officers to earn 24 credits to maintain their license. Therefore, be resolved that Stephen M. Huff and Alan Reese, code enforcement officers, be allowed to attend the Northern Adirondack Code Enforcement Officials Association 18th Annual Educational Conference held from March 3rd to March 6th, 2014 in Lake Placid, New York at the Crown Plaza Resort and Golf Club. And it be further resolved that $480 for the conference fees and $718 for lodging and meals be charged to the code and zoning budget. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and code enforcement officer.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll second it.
Mr. Rendick, discussion.
Yeah, Bernie, I'm just gonna renew, we laid off people this year, we cut salaries, we made a lot of cuts to be able to spend the night 50 miles from here at the tune of $718 at the Crown Plaza Resort. It cost $56 to drive a town vehicle up there for 4 days, assuming we get 25 miles to the gallon and we drive up and back. We certainly would save
It's
a
more
lot.
than 25 miles.
It's 50 miles round trip. 50 miles up, 50 miles back.
So it's 100 miles round trip.
Right, correct.
No, not 100 round trip.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
50 miles up, 50 miles
Oh,
back.
50, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said 25. All right, that makes sense.
I mean, people go up to Lake Placid all the time. They ski all day, they have dinner, they drive back home at night. They, you go to an ice show and you get done at 9:30 at night, and what do? You don't stay at the Crown Plaza, you drive home, because it's 50 minutes away. To spend this kind of money in the environment that we're in this year with layoffs and what have you, I think is an awful bold request from the code enforcement office. I wouldn't be opposed to paying the $50 for the meals if they wanted to stay and have the networking with the meal at the end of the evening and then drive home after that, but that'd be about as far as I'd be willing to go.
And in the past, I've disagreed with Paul. I said I think that the networking had value for the department. Again, but this year, I have to agree with him. We've asked people to tighten their belts. We've made some serious cuts. I'm not gonna vote in favor of this unless it can be amended to to show that the amount being authorized is $530. That's $480 for the conference fees and $50 for meals.
Any other discussion?
So, now, let me understand that, what you said, Jerry.
But that's,
You're allowing for the gas that Paul's talking about?
if they're taking a
Well,
town
they'll take a
vehicle,
town
they're
vehicle.
taking a town vehicle, there's no increase to the cost of the voucher. There
Right.
never is if they're taking a town vehicle, and we would
Would they,
want them to take a town
and
vehicle.
do they in fact charge for the time to go there and back?
There's salaried supervision.
That might be arguable. Even though they're taking a town vehicle, if you're doing, we'll say, 100 miles a day, what is the IRS rate for travel? 60?
55, I think.
All right, I mean, there's still a cost for the fuel, there's a wear and tear. I'm a little concerned, this is a.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been in construction for 30 years, and we've done an awful lot of work in Ticonderoga, Tupper Lake, Lake Placid. My company has never, ever put us up overnight in any one of those municipalities. We drive our company truck to work every day, we drive the company truck back. There's obviously a cost savings in driving the truck out and back every day than versus spending the night.
I think the savings, by the time you do the wear and tear, by the time you still buy the gas, you've still got the time, the opportunities for the expanded network. This is.
Well, we're certainly not gonna pay them.
This is a course that's required to have the credits to maintain a license. It's the only time and place they go anywhere. They don't ask to go to New York City. As I weigh it over, the cost over the benefit, I think it's too close.
I'm not opposed to them going, I'm opposed to them spending the night.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the difference.
And you're talking about paying their salary when they drive up there. They don't get paid an additional salary if they get called at 2 o'clock in the morning to go inspect the chimney fire so somebody can start the fire back up. It's part of their salary, part of their job.
Sure of that?
Yeah.
They're not charging us for the time they're standing there networking. Why would they
If-
charge us if we don't allow them to stay?
If you're going to allow the $50 each for the meals, you're down now to $618. At 100 miles a day, with the gas and everything else, you're going in a four-wheel drive Jeep. I just don't think there's that much difference, and I think the
Remember, we're
benefit.
buying our gas on
I know,
contract, right, state contract.
but there's still a price, and I think the benefit, I think the gap is close and the benefit outweighs it. I mean, you're expressing your opinions, I'm gonna express mine in support of it.
So, Jerry, your amendment would say that.
I would change that and basically say, because I misspoke, it's $50 per person, so we're looking at $580 instead of the $530. Allowing $100 for, $50 each for meals.
Is that all meals for the day?
It's all it's on the voucher.
That's all it's on the voucher.
Because I'm sure there's a lunch and a dinner if you stay. There's breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you stay. And if we've got someone going, no,
You don't get dinner or breakfast if you travel.
anyone else have thoughts, comments?
I would move to amend it so that we do not include the hotel.
Marty, do you have any thoughts, comments on that? I know we have a motion, so let me make sure we're done the discussion first. I will come back to your motion time. Do you have any other thoughts before we take the motion?
I think the reason that I would vote in favor of their request is the fact that this is an educational conference, that they're going to get 24 credits to maintain their licenses. This is not a, you know, they're going up to listen to a couple speakers and, you know, play around. I mean,
We just have to know too, one of the reasons that was given when we bought the Jeep Grand Cherokee was that they would be able to drive back and forth to conferences and save the town of Plattsburgh money. I mean, that's a reason it was given when they bought the Jeep.
And we've taken it to Albany and get up early in the morning and come back late at the end of the day, more than once. This is something, though, that I think the benefit outweighs what is a small amount of money you might save.
You know, all the points are well taken, but I think we go back to square one on this one, and that is that this is an unusual year. 2014 is an unusual year. And it's not a year to do things as usual. It's a year to take a look at where can we save, where can we cut, where can we prepare for the 2015 budget. And we've cut, when we took a look at the budget last year, we cut less than the $600 that we're talking about cutting out of this one. We made cuts of less than $600 to try and get us to where we were. And this is a point where I think that we can bite the bullet on this one for 1 year.
Any other discussion? Tom has a motion on the table to amend the resolution. Do we have a second to that motion to amend?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the amendment? Tom, what I think I'm hearing you say is to move another $100, so we would have the 40 for the conference and 100 for meals?
Yep.
Correct.
I haven't analyzed it that closely. It's $50 each for the full conference. Is that correct? I don't... $50 for 3 days of at least lunch and dinner doesn't quite seem like it would be enough.
Well, again, I think if you look at our travel policy, if you're able to leave in the morning after a certain hour and you're able to return home at night, you're not required to buy that person breakfast or dinner. I'm pretty sure if you check it, you're not required.
Well, there's something in there. I think that's what the 50 is here. It has nothing to do with the conference. It's the town's allocation for travel.
Well, there's also, you know, free pasta dinner on Wednesday for all conference attendants, you know, so that they can stay at the annual dinners.
It might be included in the cost of the conference, you're right. I don't know. We don't have that kind of information. We have a motion to amend, we have a second. I'll close the discussion. Ricky, could you do a roll call vote on the motion to amend? Give me just a second before you do that so I can accurately record it. Okay.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
No.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Bernadette,
Yes.
Bertie Bass.
No. Resolution to amend carries. The resolution would be amended then to read $480 for conference and $100 for meals. Any other discussion on the amended resolution? Roll call on the amended resolution.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Just did that.
And we're voting on the resolution now, as amended. We just took a roll call vote on the amendment. Mr. Mannix?
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Bernadette,
Yes.
Bertie Bass.
No. Resolution carries as amended. Resolution 49, request 3% site plan return deposit for Stephen Brody.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the Stephen Brody Site Plan 2013, and whereas Stephen Brody Site Plan 2013 has placed on file a 3% deposit construction for their project in the original amount of $633.92. And whereas the Planning Department has coordinated all inspections of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Whereas Stephen Brody Site Plan 2013 has requested that the deposit plus accrued interest to date be now returned. Now therefore it be resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to release said deposit in the amount of $633.92 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the planning department secretary with the return of said deposit to Stephen Brody.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renovich, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoy, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy.
Yes.
Gerard Herzog.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 50, out-of-title work in the, out-of-title work in the water and wastewater department.
Whereas the supervisor received a letter dated January 3rd, 2014 from the Water Wastewater Director Scott Stoddard recommending an out-of-title work assignment to address the water wastewater supervisor vacancy that was created as a result of medical leave of absence. Therefore be resolved that in compliance with the negotiated union agreement, section 7, the director's request be approved and recommended out-of-title request be granted a 5% per hour increase until the maintenance MEO2 worker is able to resume his duties, and it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water, Wastewater, Utilities, Finance Manager, and the shop steward.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Manick, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion?
Frank, do we know who this is?
Yes, we do.
Should that be in this?
I'm just, yeah, because we're actually giving a temporary promotion to somebody, I mean,
It would be nice to know who it is. Add the 5%.
We have it in the next one.
Josh Squires.
Yeah, we have it in the next one, we will have it in this one.
Now, the temporary position that they're filling, is it, how long of a medical leave are we looking at? Are we looking at a short term?
Weeks versus months,
Weeks worth versus,
we think, again, depending on how
are we in
rehabilitation comes back.
violation of the union agreement?
No,
If we fill, if we fill that?
Yeah. We're not, all that's happening is the individual will work out of his title and get the 5% as per the union agreement, which also works for civil service, rather than, you know, we got a crisis here and a crisis there, and I got a crew of a supervisor, but the person who's supervising doesn't have supervisory duties in his job description. That's what's happening with Josh. He will have that supervisory duty that's allowed for him during this period until the employee on the medical leave is able to come back. He probably will come back early on light duty. I mean, that's the way it works.
Right.
But I suspect there'll be a period before he can return 100% and go out and do the work he was doing and fulfill that role. At that time, Josh will go back to his position and everything reverts.
Well, there's another part to this where we're filling temporary labor positions.
I see them as two independent and isolated acts and decisions.
Okay, so the person that's out then is using medical leave?
Yes, he's having some surgery.
So we're not paying extra?
No.
Paying for it?
Just the 5% increase to meet with our obligations, which then allows him to fulfill the supervisory role. I've spoken with Scott a little bit, and he's very comfortable with Josh in that position, and said he certainly would be a candidate in the future if the opportunity came to be promoted as well. So it's a
And that's
chance
what we
to
wanted to do, is have
see
people
what he's
capable
doing.
of doing
do it
the
internally.
jobs that we needed to do in the
Yep.
future.
Bernie, is the second resolution hinging upon passing this one?
I don't believe so.
No, because this says, this has nothing to do with the second one. I was just bringing it up, Paul.
Because I know, it looks like one is dependent on the other.
Well, I can't answer that question for the director. I think there's a relationship between the two, but he needs the labor. And some of the duties that Josh would have been doing will now need to be picked up.
There's nothing personal against Josh or anything
Yep.
else. I would like to see us try to, without violating our union agreement, move forward without filling the position unless we had to fill the position. But I also am considerate of this
Yep.
other one. I don't want to be basically saying, we're not going to take an action on the second.
Right.
There's another resolution for the second.
I know, and I just want to make sure that one.
I think some of the concern, my initial thought was, why don't we see what we can do with the supervisors and the crew we have? Similar things have happened in highway, but in highway, we've also brought some drivers in because we got guys out. You've got to have the drivers, you got to plow the road. If nothing happened during this period of recovery, there'd be no problem. The probability of nothing happening is almost zero. And then, if today, this week, I've got 2 crises and I got 2 crews, you can't say, well, I'm gonna kick them up for 5% today.
Right.
Can't do it.
Well, according to what
For
Scott
the
told
sake of
me,
it, it's-
he does need all 3
Yeah.
crews. And he needs them out there. And, you know, they can't be, there's not enough supervision for that, and he wanted this just temporarily up so that this person would be able to do it. He feels he can do the supervision, and that way there's somebody in charge and can direct what's going on.
And you know, I use the word crises a couple times, thinking, you know, you get breaks in the middle of the night stuff. It isn't just that, it really is the ongoing day-to-day, as you're saying, Tom, their projects need to be done, you need a supervisor with a crew.
We do have 3 supervisors.
So, any other discussion? There's a relationship with the number 2. I don't know if you didn't pass this first one that would eliminate that other need. I can't answer that question, but I'm gonna let them both ride.
I think the problem is if you don't pass the first one, he can't have people step into the MM2's job duties. That would be a violation of the contract.
Right.
He's gotta have created the paper trail where he can put the person into that spot.
Okay? Any other discussion?
Yeah, Bernie, I just think, I personally think he maybe has enough supervision to weather the storm for a few weeks, but if we're gonna pass this thing, I think 2 things need to happen. We need to wind up putting a copy of this in the person's personnel file and adding his name to the resolution, because you are giving him a temporary promotion.
I totally agree. We would have put a copy in, I think, but, you know, when it goes to the finance manager, that's what he would do. But it should be the name in the resolution. So that will be added,
So that would go to Josh Gordon.
correct? So we would amend this to include Josh's name. I think we're all in agreement.
Yes.
Don't need to roll call on that. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Vanek,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Brad Renazat,
Yes.
and Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries as amended. Resolution number 51, temporary position in the Water and Wastewater Department.
Whereas the supervisor received a letter dated January 3rd, 2014, from the Water Wastewater Director Scott Stoddard requesting to fill a temporary position due to a vacancy created by a medical leave of one of his staff. And whereas Mr. Kyle Karofsky has agreed to work on a temporary basis to fill the position as a laborer, therefore be resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents to hire Mr. Karofsky as a temporary employee of the Water and Wastewater Department at an hourly rate of $10 per hour. And to be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water and Wastewater Department, the Finance Manager, Pool Insurance, and Clinton County Civil Service Department of Personnel for their final approval and filing. And a copy be placed in Mr. Karofsky's personnel
Have a
file.
motion.
Can I just, before the motion, can I just say that we made one mistake on the last one?
What?
As far as I can see, that the letter is dated January 2nd. On every paper I've got 3 different papers, it says a memo to Bernie Bassett from Scott Stoddard is
Yep.
January 2nd instead of January 3rd.
We'll correct that typo.
No, we're both the same.
Have a motion on number 51.
So moved.
Mr. Renada, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion?
Yeah, that's also January 2nd.
Yep. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne,
Yes.
Gerard Bernadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 52, investment policy.
Resolved that the attached Town of Plattsburgh 2014 investment policy be and the same hereby is approved effective as of this date. And it be further resolved that the supervisors are authorized and directed to implement said policy and to schedule an annual review of the investment policy by the Town Board Audit Committee for the purpose of reviewing and recommending to the Town Board any amendments thereto. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and to the bookkeeper for filing in the town's official policy book.
Motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoy, any discussion?
Yeah, is this, supposed to be attached to this, it says 2009 investment policy, I was given that twice.
Those are just notes, old one.
All right, so then the only thing that we're dealing with is, this current one ends up with the appendix A.
Has draft all over it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Number of things, just a few minor corrections on number 8. Number 8, if you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th line down on B, it says rated in one of the 3 highest categories, but at least it should be 1, nationally recognized statistical rating organization.
Okay.
And by the way, what's a Tioga State Bank? Anybody know? That's where we're supposed to, money goes to an assignment? Okay. And then on number 11, if you go down to the third line from the bottom, it says the town and maintaining. I think it maybe should just read the town maintaining a list of proposed depositories and custodians, and then such listing shall be evaluated at least annually instead of the.
I think that sentence might be the town will maintain a list of proposed depositories.
Well, it says maintaining a listing, so it will maintain.
A listing.
Okay, so just take that off and then will maintain, that's fine with me,
Mhm.
but the way it reads, the way it's written was not
I don't know
good.
where.
And then the last
Yeah.
sign just changed the to A.
Got it.
And then, if you look at number 12C, it should be not tracking partner, but trading partner, I believe, because down below it says trading partner, the custodian shall be party. The last line says the custodian shall be a party other than the trading partner. So I think that under C, authorized trading partner instead of tracking partner.
I totally agree. I'll bring it to the attention of the finance manager.
And then Appendix A, letter J. I'm not sure what this means. It says commercial bank and banker's acceptances issued by a bank other than the bank, right in the highest short-term category, at least one nationally recognized statistical. Rated, are the ratings done by banks? Because it says up above, statistical rating organizations. So,
So are you saying who's rating the bank?
is the bank rating these things, or is it a statistical rating organization?
I
It
would-
says nationally recognized
I would-
statistical rating
I would
organization.
think it would be the rating organization.
Yeah, so if the commercial paper and banker's acceptance issued by a bank, other than the bank, it should be other than what bank?
The bank.
That doesn't make sense to me.
The bank.
I think the other banks are guaranteeing the bank's credit.
Yeah. The ones
In
that
other
they're-
words, I think
Possibly.
it's right.
Other than the bank being ready, yeah, that
Right.
makes sense.
I mean, it's, they go,
Makes sense. But again, I'll bring that up with Pat. I mean, it may be, Bill deals with that more than I do at that level. There may be some logic to that language that I don't understand.
Okay. That's basically what I had on that.
A couple of good catches there, Tom. As amended with the question on that last item to be clarified, any other discussion?
Thank you, Bill.
Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 53, Deputy Dog Control Officers Agreement, amending resolution number 19, 0419.
Whereas on January 6, 2014, the town board passed resolution 014-19 to enter into an agreement with Mr. Charles Grimshaw to provide deputy dog control services to be performed on an as-needed basis. Whereas at the time, it was the belief of the town board that Mr. Grimshaw would act as an independent contractor. And whereas it is now understood that Mr. Grimshaw will act as an agent of the town and as a part-time employee of the town of Plattsburgh. Now therefore be resolved that after a final review by the town attorney, the supervisor be authorized to enter into an agreement with Mr. Grimshaw to provide dog control services in the town of Plattsburgh upon the terms and provisions set forth therein. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution and the executed agreement be given to the finance manager, town clerk, pool insuring, and dog control officer.
Motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Renner, any discussion?
Should a copy of this go to Mr. Grimshaw?
Yes. We will add that to the resolution to be sure that's in there. I think everybody understands why we're doing this. I just wanted to make sure we're clear between the two resolutions. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 54, municipal property and liability insurance renewal.
Whereas it is necessary for the town of Plattsburgh to provide risk management services and municipal property and liability insurance coverage. Therefore be resolved that the supervisor is authorized to review its agreement with a pool insuring agency principal located at P.O. Box 2153, Glens Falls, New York, 12801, and to provide risk management services as an insurance broker for the town, to provide municipal insurance coverage. And it be further resolved that after careful review of the town's needs and market options, recommending property and liability insurance coverage for a period from January 10th, 2014 to January 10th, 2015, shall be provided by NYMAR reciprocal for a premium of $128,155.91, plus or minus endorsements as warranted during the need of said period. And be further resolved that the supervisor be authorized to sign all related documents with NYMAR and Pool Incorporated, and a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and Pool Incorporated.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Lemoy, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
So this is added on to now for the lighting equipment?
Yes. Yep. We actually have more coverage for a lower premium, which isn't typical. One item we're still discussing a little bit is a coverage for public officials, a dishonesty coverage.
That's not under the public officials liability?
We still have some in there, Tom. We've been discussing the amount of coverage. What is our exposure? Should we raise that? When we bench that against our checks and balances internally, I kind of don't think there's a need to add that expense to the policy beyond what we already have. But anyway, that's a little discussion still going on. And I would bring any recommendation to you. But right now, this would be for our policy of liability coverage as written. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 55, Fountain Brothers American Legion Post 1619, application for permit for public fireworks.
Whereas Fountain Brothers Post 1619 has duly submitted to the town of Plattsburgh an application for permit for public display of fireworks to be held on February 1st, 2013, to take place at the American Legion Post 1619, situated along Rand Hill Road in the town of Plattsburgh. And whereas the town is not required to collect a fee for such a granting of such permits, whereas the town board has determined that in lieu of the adequate bond in the amount of $1 million being provided by the applicant, a commercial general liability insurance policy in the minimum amount of $1 million for each occurrence in general aggregate coverage in the minimum amount of $1 million with the town named as the insured on the policy be accepted and submitted to the town attorney for review, and upon the town attorney approving the applicant and the liability insurance coverage as informed, and Fountain Brothers Post 1619 as the controlling agent of the land on which the public display of fireworks is to be held, having also approved and granted the said applicant by the town, now therefore it be resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to issue the required permit for a public display of fireworks to the applicant on Friday, February the 1st, at the American Legion Post 1619. And we further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, codes officer, town clerk, and pool insurance.
I was just looking, did Morrisonville EMS sign up on this?
I've talked to them, but nobody's come to sign it yet. I called Scott Ewing and stuff.
Because I know we had,
I have Sheriff Basil is already signed it.
and the fire department has,
Yeah, I've gotta go see him tomorrow or Wednesday.
okay. I'd like to amend this that we're not gonna authorize that unless all of those signatures are obtained prior to.
We don't have any other paperwork for this? Any other signatures?
That-
I don't know
I
what you
do, I don't have everybody that's came here to sign it yet.
And my only problem with it is when they put the fireworks display on the Airborne Speedway,
I hate to stop you, but we don't have a motion or a second.
Oh,
We
sorry.
move
Don't have
right into
anything yet.
discussion.
So,
for
can
the
I get a
purpose of
motion?
discussion, I'll move the
Thank you.
the
Mr.
question.
Rondat, second.
second.
Mr. Lemoyne, now discussion.
Yeah, I just know we had issue at Airborne Speedway with some people getting injured, and I just think it's critical that that agency knows that that's happening and what day, and
Are the two we're missing, Ricky, the fire department and the ambulance?
Yep,
And you've contacted them?
yep.
Why don't-
I gotta go see Kevin on either tomorrow or Wednesday, and same thing with.
What I would suggest then, that this would be pending those final
Right.
signatures.
right.
Because we're not gonna meet again in between. I mean, if he gets the
Right.
signatures, let him go.
Absolutely, that's, exactly.
Ricky, what do they review before they sign?
Nothing, as long as the town is happy with it, that's all they've ever asked for.
So again, the
I just
signature.
I have all the
No,
They're aware and
the fire
they're-
department knows where they're
Okay.
setting up the display,
Makes
roads
sense.
in and out, you
The
know,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But there's also insurance coverage, et cetera.
We've got that.
We've got that.
And that has been signed, because I haven't seen it.
We've got it, we're listed as additionally insured.
That's done properly?
Unless it's bitter cold, Morrisonville Fire Department normally takes a fire truck up.
So, Jim, you've looked at that already?
I don't know,
Are you going to look at it?
I will look at it.
If it's
Yeah,
passed, yep. You would, if you pass it, it will be pending the attorney's review, and now it will be pending the final two signatures. Then Ricky will issue the license.
Yeah, because we can't do it unless it's properly signed in.
Yep.
I agree.
Even though we don't want to hurt that, this activity at all,
No,
but, without the paperwork, it's gonna. Will they be notified?
Yep.
They'll notify.
Ricky just said he's already contacted them, they just haven't come up to
Haven't
sign.
signed it yet.
So if they haven't signed it, you're gonna notify?
No,
them?
I'll go and, like I did last year, I went around to everybody and got them all to sign it.
Okay,
Same thing, we'll do the same thing.
all right. And with those contingencies, okay.
Right, I think I gave you, you must have a copy
So-
of the the current insurance and
Yep.
stuff that was on there, that I had them send it back to the insurance agent and rewrite it so the town is named on it.
So Paul, do you wanna put another resolve in here for that? With amendment? that
Well,
you
I
suggested?
don't know that you need to amend it, I'm making the note, Ricky's here, he understands,
Right.
is not to issue the permit until he gets all the signatures. It's
Gets the signatures
conditional.
and it's reviewed by Jim.
Right.
Like,
Right.
condition. I'm good with
Well, you just put it in there.
I'm making that note.
I want it in here, so that it's down in writing. That's what we agreed to.
Duly noted. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
With the amendments that Paul suggested, yes.
Marty Mamick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
it. Yes.
Gerard Ripple.
Yes.
Ernie Bassett.
Yes, clearly. I don't think Jim has a copy. Probably the best thing would be to get your signatures, it's incomplete until then, and then get it to Jim, and then you can issue it.
Okay.
So, be the best process. Resolution 56, request to advertise for sealed bids, Route 3 and Sorrel lift stations.
Whereas the town board resolution 13-213 acknowledged the need for improvements in the water wastewater infrastructure to comply with regulations, assure reliable service to customers, and guarantee the sustainability and integrity of the system, and authorize the development and implementation of the bid process of capital projects entitled Route 3 Lift Station and Sorrel Lift Station. Whereas Scott Stoddard, Water and Wastewater Director, has requested authorization to solicit bids to retrofit and improve upon the interior configuration of two capital projects titled Route 3 Lift Station and Sorrel Lift Station. Therefore be resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise for sealed bids for the project entitled Route 3 Lift Stations and Sorrel Lift Station, which bid specifications and non-conclusive documents will be available from the Town of Plattsburgh Town Clerk's Office, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, or LaBerge Group, 4 Computer Drive West, Albany, New York, 12205. And said advertisement shall be placed in the Press Republican with bid opening on February the 27th, 2014, at 3 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Plattsburgh, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And it be further resolved that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board reserves the right to reject any and all bids offered. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Town Clerk and Director of Water and Wastewater Department.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renaudin, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoy, any discussion?
Bernie, the only thing I'd like to see here is just to make, and you don't have to note it in there, but just make sure RJ, when he puts the specs out for this, that he makes it a mandatory site visit, because the wording in the last two, one was a little vague, one was definite. Let's just treat everybody the same and make a mandatory site visit, they all know what they're getting into, and make it very clear that that's required.
That's not, the wording's not in here?
No, it wouldn't, it would never be in this, it would be,
Be in
it
specs.
would be in a spec book, I just wanna, the two different sets of specs had very different language, one was suggesting and one was demanding, so,
And likewise, am I correct that when we go out to bid, we will have language in the bid that talks about the fact that, you know, the bid will be awarded to responsible bidder? That we reserve the right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is in the resolution. You can reject any and all bids, and you can go with the best value as well.
right.
It's not in this.
It's town policy, though.
Okay.
It is in here that
We have the right to
we
reject.
have the right to reject any and all.
Right.
But we have the best, like you said, the best value
Best
policy,
policy.
which was
Yeah.
passed.
There's a copy of the advertisement if you want to read it.
Yeah, I don't even have that, Rick, so I'd like a copy of that for my files.
Anything about best value?
That's just the advertisement, publicizing the bid,
Right, that's what I was given this
Still needs to be in the
afternoon.
bid
to put in the
specs.
paper.
To put in the
Yeah,
paper
that's-
if we pass that for tonight.
I don't think we have to advertise that we will be considering best value.
No,
No.
no, that's
That's-
just policy.
That's our policy.
Right.
do have to justify.
Nor do you have the site visit
Right.
thing, that's all,
Copy that?
that's all. those-
I've got another one.
I think, I'll put it right there. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy.
Yes.
Gerard Ripken.
Yes.
Bertie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 57, contract number 2, master meters for Morrisonville Water District, periodic estimate, payment number 7.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh previously awarded East National Water LLC a bid to provide customer water meters for the Morrisonville Water District and Schuyler Falls. Whereas LaBerge Engineering and Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed periodic estimate number 7 for the installation of 8 cold water meters and 17 non-standard meters and recommends them as indicated. Therefore be resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to make payment for periodic estimate number 7 dated December 17, 2013 for the installation of 8 meters and the parts and labor for 17 non-standard meters in the amount of $3,070.62 payable to Northeast Water LLC, P.O. Box 991 Palmer, Mass. 01069. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution and executed periodic estimate number 7 be given to the finance manager, the LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group, Northeast Water LLC, and Director of Water and Wastewater Department.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
There, I don't know if I'm missing something here, we've gotten the resolution and resolved part of the resolution that installation of 17 non-standard meters in the amount of $3,070. In the letter to date, there have been 17 non-standard installations for a total additional cost of $3,209.
Jerry, I think everything that is involved with this request ends with the paragraph above that. Says making the total amount requested $3,070.62.
Okay.
Everything below that is like a paid commercial for LaBerge, okay? He could write for Congress, okay? I mean, if you wanna read doublespeak, read that paragraph. And by the time you get done, you
So the amount we're gonna be paying them is $3,070.62.
Got it.
Which is the lower.
That's it.
Which is the lower amount, and I'm happy with that.
And that is the amount of the
Well, it
voucher.
says in the letter, before that they've already paid the $140,880, now it's only $3,007.
But he did want you to know that they also saved some money along the way.
Yeah, well,
All
that
right.
was good, that was good. We always like to save money.
Any other discussion?
Where did these meters go?
Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Schuyler
Mark
Falls.
Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Ripken.
Yes.
Bertie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 58, contract number 2, master meters for Morrisonville Water District, periodic estimate payment number 8.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh previously awarded East National Water LLC a bid to provide customer water meters for the Morrisonville Water District and Schuyler Falls. Whereas LaBerge Engineering and Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed the periodic estimates for payment number 8, final, and request the return of retainage and recommended them as indicated. Therefore be resolved that the supervisor is authorized to make payment in the amount of $6,293.22 for the amount held for retainage for periodic estimate number 8 dated December 17, 2013, payable to East National Water LLC, P.O. Box 991, Palmer, Mass. 01069. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution and executed periodic estimate number 8 be given to the finance manager, LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group, and East National Water LLC, and also the Director of Water and Wastewater Department.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renadette, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoy, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood, Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
And Bertie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 59, stipend for 2014 Youth League coaches in the town of Plattsburgh.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board has received a request from Recreation and Youth Director Melanie DeFaya, and whereas a letter attached requesting authorization for stipends assigned for the 2014 Youth League program year. And resolved that the stipends for the coaches in the town program be approved and paid from the budget line item A 7310.4000 to contractual expense, and it be further resolved the copies of this resolution be given to the finance manager and to the recreation director.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Lemoy, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
In the previous motion, you did have all the verified papers, didn't you, because it wasn't any with it?
Yes, we did.
Okay, just, it should have been signed by Scott Stoddard at least. Just checking.
Any other discussion on resolution 59? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
And Bertie Bassett.
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution number 60, Morrisonville-Cato Water Connection Ban Renewal.
Whereas the town board approved resolution 07-239 on October 1st, 2007 for the issuance of a bond anticipation note for an amount not to exceed $750,000 for water district improvements. Whereas the resolution dated October 1st, 2007 designated the supervisor with the authority to annually renew the ban. And whereas the current ban matures on January 31st, 2014, and interest rates have been sought for renewal of the Morrisonville-Cadyville water connection ban in an amount not to exceed $575,000. Whereas the following interest rates were submitted to the finance manager, as so noted, with Key Bank submitting the lowest interest rate. Now therefore be resolved that the town board award Morrisonville-Cadyville water connection ban to Key Bank, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents pertaining to the ban renewal, and a certified copy of this resolution shall be given to the finance manager and director of water and wastewater utilities.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Mr. Renadette, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
And Bertie Bassett.
Yes. The last item on the agenda, I've noted as the draft and work session. We usually have drafts. The nature of the beast, we discussed it early. My goal is that we would have that at the next regular meeting for elections.
Are any of the other towns already done it, or?
I believe the town of Cernak is doing it at their next regular meeting. I don't think that's occurred yet. I'm confident that they are. I don't know what the result is. The Supervisors Association voted unanimous in a resolution requesting it.
Great.
So we are going to get that out. It's one of the things I'm working on to the others with a draft. I was waiting to see the response from everyone here. I'm not going to send to them, we're in favor without having had the discussion. Now I can pass that on to the others, Cernak in the town and in that group. We didn't have 100% of the municipalities there. I want to say we had maybe 7 or 8 of them. So it was, certainly a quorum. But we'll get that out to everyone.
And since it's the last meeting of the month, I want to thank Jerry and Paul for
Still my
continuing
fun.
on this month, spending all the time doing all the work and auditing and everything, because probably this will be the last meeting. So I really appreciate what you've done.
Yeah, based on what we know, I was about ready to take a pool if there'd be an announcement on Laurentian of the elections, but I guess tomorrow's it.
There will be.
Truly, for both of you, thank you for the service, your effort, and your commitment. The two of you doing the auditing is another commitment on Sunday nights oftentimes, so we appreciate your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bernie?
With that said,
Oh, him and
I'm
adjourn, yes.
gonna close this at 8:35.